So they talked about it on. I'll go over it real quickly. In the Coddling of the American Mind by Jonathan Haidt and Greg
Mhm.
Lukianoff, and I think Haidt mentioned that Greg, had severe depression, and he was suicidal. He almost killed
Yep.
himself one night, right? And so he learned cognitive behavioral therapy. He checked himself into the mental hospital, and they taught him some cognitive behavioral therapy at some point, and he was able to that really kind of helped him like get back on track and not have suicidal ideation as much or at all. But he noticed, and I don't know if you remember this aspect of it, is why I'm bringing it up. He noticed one of the things that made them write that book. He brought it up to Jonathan Haidt, the social psychologist, that kids on college campuses were exhibiting cognitive distortions, basically exhibiting the exact opposite of what he's taught to do or to look out for in CBT, right? Things like catastrophizing, expecting the worst possible outcome, magnification, minimization, exaggerating the importance of negative aspects while downplaying positive ones, which you see a lot, I think, in a lot of these critical theory classes, right? Like, if it's like gender studies, then they're going to be talking about the whole time about how bad men are, right? How bad males are. And they never talk about the good parts of what men have provided. Like that probably doesn't ever come up. And that's why you have girls coming out of college saying, wouldn't the world be better without men? Not realizing that like men mine every fucking metal and resource on earth and built all the cities and
Princess lifestyle because of men.
Yeah. Invented almost everything, so not to say that men are so much more important than women, but boy, is that important, right? What's emotional reasoning is another cognitive distortion. I'm assuming that feelings are an accurate reflection of reality, leading to negative interpretations of situation. So a lot of this stuff you see through wokeness, like, right. And he said, and him and Haidt kind of came to the conclusion that colleges and maybe even like woke therapy and the way we're raising our children, a lot of different things are coming together to teach kids that, this is the way you should think about things. Like cognitive distortions is the right way. Always trust your feelings is one of them, right? Is one of the great untruths they mentioned. So I think it kind of goes side by side with what you're saying with the cluster B stuff. Maybe, I don't know what you think about this, that maybe it's helping push kids and woke people and even adults into like being more cluster B or being more narcissistic or borderline, because these are probably things that could be developed through like, having the opposite of a proper character development. It's not always perhaps based on personality or not always based on childhood trauma or neglect, although that's a big part of it often. But it also could just be something developed that people reward and nobody calls them out on, right? So what do you think about that?
Yes. Well, yes. That's why I keep saying yes.
Okay.
We're all talking about the same phenomenon.
Yeah.
I do not. So a personality disorder, to be diagnosable, like if you were go to a clinician and really get formally diagnosed, that's a severe mental distortion. Personality disorders are not light and easy mental illnesses. They are, in fact, the worst and most intransigent.
Indeed.
There are exceptions, and you're going to get. Well, you may get flooded with complaining. Not all people who say, "Why didn't Josh say that in this case?" Blah 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 blah. I don't. I'm not playing that game. Everybody, audience, supply your own not alls. You're all grown-ups. You all can understand
Yeah,
that.
you can only do that so many times before you want to put a bullet in the head.
But for the most part, most cluster B personality disorder people are not going to get better. Most of them don't have the capability. They don't think there's anything wrong with them. They think they are the ones who are right and everyone else has a problem.
Yeah.
I'm not proposing that the majority of leftists have a personality disorder. Here's what I am proposing. Number one, that the left today is the natural home of this kind of psychology, this kind of cluster B psychology, not the right. It's not both sides.
Yep.
Yes, people of all political persuasions can have these psychological problems. No, it's not symmetrical. It is the left today.
Yeah, it is.
And so, yeah, we're not going to play that. I'm not going to make people feel better by saying, well, but also on the right. No, that's a bunch of bullshit. It's actually part of the cluster B game.
Yep.
But I am saying that even people who do not have a fully diagnosable personality disorder are far more baseline narcissistic and enact cluster B behaviors at a far higher rate than the background population did even 20 years ago, but certainly much more than 40 years ago.
It's insanity to me because it's almost as if it's been induced over the span of time. It
has been. It has been. And you're
even,
right.
I'm sorry. Well, I have noticed this in advertisements.
Yes.
Like there's so much more focus on you deserve. This is a
nothing's
journey.
more important than your vision.
Exactly.
Break all boundaries.
You're amazing.
Never accept no.
You're amazing.
Yes,
it's a lot. Everybody's fucking amazing, like Spider-Man. Like how everybody for what?
It's like this whole
these words that like used to mean extreme positive stuff is now just everybody's amazing. Not everybody can be amazing. All right.
Right. If and that's something that you touched on a while ago.
This is very woman oriented. There's the feminine narcissism.
Yeah.
This is I'm afraid this is not equally sexed.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is far, far more on the woman's side right now.
I would agree. I would agree with that.
There are women are out of control. They're absolutely out of control.
Some of them
they are
especially on the left,
rewarded for enacting narcissistic, borderline, and often sociopathic behaviors. They are applauded and said that they are described as being strong women. Look at Hollywood. We've got we have movies now that are giving the sympathetic backstory to the villainess.
Yes.
They did it with Cruella de Vil. They did it with Maleficent. They're doing it with
the Marvels. The Marvels.
All of them recently, right?
Yeah, they do it a lot. Yeah.
And there are a lot of men who are partaking of this too. It's not as if men don't display these things, but this is very much the feminine
toxic femininity. It's
toxic femininity.
Yeah.
Toxic femininity.
There is
toxic
toxic masculinity, there's definitely a toxic femininity, and this is a big part of it, as well as like the devouring mother stuff with that's
all cluster B stuff.